Great. Hello everybody, welcome back to Historian's Stitch, or just welcome. Today is a how-to Wednesday, and basically, because tomorrow is Thanksgiving, I am currently making cranberry sauce and cranberry pie filling, which means that I need to make a pie crust, and I've realized through the years that a lot of people don't know how to do that. And, well, they know how, but they might not know how to get it flaky. And we're going to see if I can show y'all how to do it. I learned from somebody at work, and yeah, it's not near as hard as people tend to think. You just really have to do one thing to make it happen. But we are going to make a vinegar pie crust rather than a regular old plain one, because the vinegar seems to work really well with cranberry. So, yeah, we'll see how this one turns out, because I did something a little bit different than I did at work the other day when I made a cranberry pie. Let me turn so y'all can see. Basically, rather than just making a plain cranberry sauce, there is also some cinnamon and a dash of clove and some vanilla, and I have no clue what it's going to taste like, but something told me to do all of that, so here we are. And yeah, I'm going to go get the computer so that we can use that camera instead. Hopefully this will be done by that point, and we can start making crust. Alright, so we're back. Like I said, we are going to make a vinegar pie crust, which is one I did at work, but I had the wrong flour, so I ended up with more of a biscuit than I did pie crust on the bottom. Basically, this is one of those that you would see a lot, I am fairly positive, in your typical farmhouse in 1850, because you are always going to have vinegar and water. You're not always going to have milk, and that's the other version of pie crust that you see a lot. So this particular one takes all-purpose flour, vinegar, ice water, salt, and an egg, and butter, though my butter is absolutely melted at the moment, so we're going to have to use a different kind for a bit until I get to the rolling it out. So basically, I need my phone for this, because recipes. This is going to be partially a, going by the recipe, partially a pour it until it looks right kind of thing, because one of the main things about making relatively flaky pie crust is it needs to be wetter than the recipe calls for. So when it says like 4 to 6 tablespoons of water, you want to put more like 8 to 10 instead, till it's tacky. And then when you're rolling it out, you can put that butter and the flour in and layer it. And that's what makes your crust flaky without making it tough. Like, there's a fine balance there of overworking and underworking. But this one, I start out with my 2 cups of flour. Salt. I am also not one who uses a mixer in this case. I just end up using my hands. That's why I took my rings off. Copy a teaspoon of that's butter. I think it's pretty well all the butter here. at least that much. I'll say that's the right amount of butter. 1 egg. Vinegar and butter. A teaspoon, not tablespoon. You want it mixed really well until it will stick together into a ball. And the nice thing about pie crust if you get it too wet, add a little more flour. You're going to end up with more pie crust than necessary, but it's not going to hurt it necessarily. This is a slight more than just tacky, so I'm going to add some of that extra flour. And then after that, you take it, you lay it out on your tabletop or wherever you're working it. You are going to use more flour doing that as well. That was probably a little too much. I have my crust, roll off to the side. Try to get most of it off your hands, which at this point is going to be a fun mess. And now I'm going to let it rest for a second while I wash my hands off. That's partially an important step because if you work it too much, it will get tough, it will get rubbery. You don't want rubbery pie crust. So, giving it just this few minutes of time while I rinse my hands off works pretty well. from here, once I have my hands good and dry, we take some more flour, you dust it directly on top. Y'all can't see quite what I'm talking about now. You're going to dust it directly on top, and then flatten it out, and we're going to layer it, kind of like biscuit dough. Though if you work with biscuit dough too much too, it will also get pretty rubbery and tough. Now, at some point, you want to pull it out far enough that you can take some of the butter and put it into that crust and then roll it in. Roll it around a little bit, stretch it back out. A little more butter. Usually you're going to use a knife for this, not just your hands, but since I'm going to use the rest of this stash of butter, not too worried about it. One more time. From here, for your pie crust, you want to pull it out as far as you can by hand before you get the roller out. Dust the top. Take your rolling pin. Do not forget to flour your rolling pin, elsewise it will be stuck for all eternity. For your 9-inch, typical 9-inch, you want it about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch thick on the edges and in the middle. And a rough 12-ish inches across. I'm going to have more than that because I want to make some cinnamon sugar twists at the end here, because why not? And with that, that's pretty well it. Because of the layering and the folding and putting some butter in there, when it makes, it should be flaky in the middle. And it's not doing the accordion effect, so I haven't overworked it. And that's pretty well it. Am I going to guarantee that it's going to work out that way for everybody? No. But it's at least a start, because it has taken me, 4 years to get anywhere akin to good at this. So, it's a start. It's a lot of practicing and just finagling with it. But yeah, super simple, easy. And with that, there will be more how-to videos, but not quite sure yet what they're going to be. I know I'm still working on a few. And yeah, everybody have a good Thanksgiving, and I will see y'all next time. Alright, final time because I like to actually show y'all how things come out. Cranberry pie, very nice, bouncy, probably jelly more than anything in the middle there. And the cinnamon sugar twists slash stickies that are always so good. We'll see how they taste with a vinegar crust. Usually I use a plain one for that. But with that, final note, I promise, there will be something on Facebook, on our Facebook page, about cranberries, because I went down a serious rabbit hole about that, and how long humans have been eating them. So look for that. Probably going to be doing one on sugar eventually. I have it partially written, just not finished. And yeah. Like, follow, subscribe. We have Facebook page and Instagram, and then of course YouTube. So yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Bye!